Hi, everyone. Guess we can get started now. Yes. Okay. Uh, I'm Jose Gamero Georgeson. I'm co-chair. My pronouns are he, him, él. I'm here with the co-chair Isa Taylor, who will be co-facilitating this meeting with me. I would like to first take a moment and just thank Interplay and Micah Ingram for facilitator guidance. They're here today to assist us in our first meeting. That's all about amending our bylaws. So, Micah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I was updating my name card so you could all know that I was from Interplay. Hi, my name is Micah Ingram. I use she, her pronouns, and I work for a social impact agency based here in Portland called Interplay. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here and hopefully be some guiding force with you all as you're going through these bylaw amendments. So feel free to ask me any questions. I might not know all the answers, but I have Google here as well, and they tend to be pretty trusty.
Thank you. And thank you again for being here. Next slide, please. This is our agenda. The summary of our agenda is that basically we're just amending our bylaws today. So we're doing that and taking a break and doing that some more. Hopefully we get through all of it today. Next slide, please. And we'll start with meeting introductions and reminders before we jump into the work. Um, let's see. Okay. Let's briefly go over the notes about this meeting. Um, we're gonna go over our working agreements real quick and then continue process improvement. Next slide. Okay, as you know, the meeting has been recorded via Zoom and it's going to be posted online for transparencies. Make sure your Zoom name is updated because some like mine said commissioner, and then you can't see your name, so please shorten that to the shortened version or alternate. And please state your name every time you speak. And I will call on people. So please raise your Zoom hand. I think that's less of a problem since we're all on Zoom. And all our meeting materials can be found on the event page. And I believe Elaine put the link to that in the chat. So you can all click on that. And as always, we have Wing here to help us with any technical help. Thank you so much, Wing. We very much appreciate you. Next slide, please. The working agreements. Can I have a commissioner volunteer to read the bold parts out loud? There's not that many of us, so someone's got to go. Can't do all the talking, just me.
I raised my hand. Should I just go? I'll just go.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the hand.
Commissioner Danger from 2-3. Um, speak with clarity and focus. WAIT, why am I talking? Assume good intentions, but attend to impact. Be willing to make mistakes and be forgiving of those who do. Allow and appreciate disagreement of opinions, ideas, methods, respectively. Build on other people's ideas. We value participation both in person and virtual.
Thank you, Commissioner Dan. Apologize for seeing your hand. Um, it didn't pop up for some reason. But now I'll pass it over to Commissioner Isa to continue.
Hello, co-chair. This is co-chair Isa. So firstly, we're gonna be going over some process improvements from previous and ongoing ones. So firstly, for addressing commissioners and alternates, so last meeting for the full commission, we voted to address commissioners and alternates by their first names. So for example, I'd be Commissioner co-chair Isa, and the alternate of this committee would be alternate Garrett. And so it's a reminder about quorum. So it's a simple majority. And so for the full commission, our quorum is 11 commissioners, and for the bylaws committee, it's 5 commissioners. And just a reminder that alternates do not count towards quorum. And so next thing for external communications and disclosure. So we'll be using interim guidelines until our bylaws are adopted. And if you want to adopt more guidelines, we need to propose them in our bylaws. And please remember to use your portlandoregon.gov email for all commission work and communications. And please don't use it for non-commission work or when you're not representing as a commissioner. For media and interest group requests, please notify the chief sustainability officer, the co-chair, and the commission coordinator before engaging. And for meetings and conversations outside about the commission, outside of public meetings, um, these can happen without triggering the need for public meeting. If 3 conditions are met. So, firstly, you can have meetings about commission work outside of public meetings if the number of commissioners in the meeting doesn't constitute quorum. Also, that no recommendations will be made by commissioners to the commission from these meetings, and that no decisions are made on behalf of the commission. So those are really important things to remember when meeting outside of the public regular meetings. And also, these meetings can only be used for collecting information, and the information can be used for full commission meetings and committee meetings, but no deliberations or decisions can be made outside of a full commission's work meeting. And so, for best practices, please make sure to notify the chief sustainability officer, the co-chairs, and the commission coordinator when discussing your meeting about commission work, and make sure to share out your work to the full commission and committees after each meetings when appropriate. And also remember that the staff can provide guidance and tips and correct information with other staff. So please make sure to share out information to the CSO, the co-chair, and the commission coordinator. Um, when it comes to providing testimony when not on behalf of the commission or another public body. So for best practices in that case, make sure to notify the CSO, co-chairs, and commission coordinator before you provide testimony, and staff can give out guidance and tips when it comes to that testimony because you can make sure to use staff as a resource. And so during testimony, make sure to disclose that you're a City of Portland Sustainability and Climate Commissioner, but that you're not providing testimony on behalf of the commission. And please remember that for testimony on behalf of the commission, there must be full commission. There must be a full commission decision and coordination with the CSO, co-chairs, and commission coordinator before you give testimony on behalf of us. And so next thing we're going to be going over document amendments. So today we're going to be going over some live amendments of our bylaws tonight. And the next slide, the process will be outlined. And if you have feedback about this process, please let us know in the meeting feedback form after the meeting. And we'll be testing out a live view link for all up tonight, so we can see each document on our own. Next slide. All right. So for amending documents during meetings, just remember that. So staff will share an all-up draft version for live review and editing today, and live amendments will be have to be typed into the chat. And make sure to raise your Zoom hand to guide staff in adding amendments into the draft. Commissioners can discuss the amendments through the all-up draft version. And proposals to move to voting must clearly specify what text is being considered, and proposals for voting also must be specific and many amendments. Proposals for voting may be specific or many amendments under one vote, and proposals also are going to be approved through modified consensus. Are there any questions? Okay. Next slide. I'd like to pass to co-chair Jose.
Thank you. Now we have agenda time for public comment, but we don't have any, so we can just move on. Next slide. Thank you. So now we are at the time where we can start working on amending the bylaws draft. So Elaine, if you could share that all up.
I am trying to share the view link to the bylaws all up, and it is not allowing me to copy and paste it into the Zoom chat. I did email you all access to the live up, so if you want to access that view on your own screen, please go to your email and open it there, and I will share my screen now for us all to view.
I don't know if that will work, but I placed the link in the chat. I don't know if that one takes you there. Okay. And then Richard Dan?
Yeah, Commissioner Dan D3. Can you see when we're all in it? I'm in it right now. Can Wing or Elaine or can we all see if we're in it? Like kind of like a Google Doc or no?
At the top, I see Elaine and Wing are in it, but that's all I see of who's in it.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right.
And I believe that's because most of you only have review permissions and not editing permissions.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll say I'm in it.
Okay. Well, great. If anyone has any problems, please let us know so we can help you. I see that Wing is ready to edit the document. Please put your amendments in the chat and then raise your Zoom hand to direct Wing in amending the all up draft or Lane, whoever gets to it. But please do put your amendment in the chat. Co-chair Isa.
I clicked onto the link you pasted onto the chat, but it's saying I don't have access to it.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's not the right link. Let me get another link. Hold on. Mhm. Is anyone else having problems getting in? I'm trying to find. Yes. What about this one? Does this one work?
If I may, I think I can create a link that everyone can review. However, I need your individual email addresses to enter in to grant permission. Elaine, is that something that you can easily provide to
Yeah.
me in some way? Okay.
They should all already have access to the view version of this document because before this meeting, I sent them a link through that share. So they should already have access. And if
Gotcha.
not, I will redo it. I'm gonna try this really long link. Jose, I think this second link you posted is the static version.
Yeah.
How about that one, Commissioner Issa? Does that give you access?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And make sure you also logged into your
Let's see.
email accounts, because if not, you might not be able to access the document.
I'm gonna try also.
Okay, we got a thumbs up from Isa though, so I think it's
Okay,
working.
great.
Great. Like I said, please let us know if there are any issues. And now we can start the work of doing it. So Lane, is there any of them that you'd want to present first that were already presented, or should we have them present them again right now? Because I do know that we put a bunch of Commissioner Maya's in there.
Yes, Commissioner Maya was the only commissioner who provided pre-meeting amendments.
as we discussed at the last bylaws committee meeting, we were going to start at the top of the document and go down. So we can just start on section 1, creation, if anyone has any amendments on that. Or if we'd rather, we can have Commissioner Maya walk us through their amendments. Up
No,
to you
I,
all.
I think we'll have Commissioner Maya do that as we get to them, like you said. I think it's going through in order probably would just be the easiest. And I don't see any comments on creation. I didn't expect any, so let's move on to frequency of meetings. And I do see that there were a couple things that were updates there. Commissioner Maya, would you like to talk to those?
Yeah, Commissioner Maya D2. There's mostly just grammar, not so much content. And then I just had two I know we're not trying to be overly prescriptive, but just so that I understand, like maybe what are some expectations for frequency, and will those be set, those expectations will be set in these bylaws discussions, or they'll be set with the full committee or the commission. And then it mentions offering access to tools, and I was just curious what that refers to, if anything in particular.
Thank
Just
you.
to,
That might be a lane question.
yeah. So the frequency of check-ins, you all are free to prescribe that or not prescribe that. I think my intention between the regular check-ins were like those one-on-ones we had over the summer. And then some examples of other tools are like accessibility tools. So that includes translation. This is less of a tool, but like childcare, transportation reimbursement. Um, so the city does offer those, so we can be more prescriptive there if we wish to be.
Thank you. Commissioner Dan?
Yeah, Commissioner Dan, D3. I think this is probably built in maybe to the websites already, but screen reader accessibility. And I'm like probably like if someone opened this, like screen reader would work automatically for Word, but I don't know if it's like I'm sure Wing, maybe you can answer that, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if our stuff is already ready to work with screen readers or not. That I haven't tried to use that, so I don't know if any of the staff knows for sure.
We do follow accessibility rules, which is like part of our templates that you see when I post things on the website. There's accessibility steps to make sure that the website is accessible and works with screen readers. And if it doesn't, it gives me a warning. Um, but I also haven't tested it. So
Yeah, and if
yeah.
anyone finds out that it's not working, please let us know. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Maya?
Commissioner Maya D2. So, Elaine, you mentioned you in terms of regular check-ins, that was in reference to our initial one-on-ones during the summer. Um, as I read the bylaws, I feel like this suggests there would be ongoing check-ins um, about our participation. And I think I had some later questions about the protocol for checking in about participation. Um, so just to clarify 100%, um, you're mentioning that it's up to us, the level that we wish to be prescriptive. And I just want to clarify is that that's something we would decide in this bylaws group. Okay. Does the staff or your team have any preference for, because it does say regular check-ins, so I would assume this would be an ongoing um part of the commission work. Does the staff or your team have any preferences for how frequently we check in?
I will offer that when I did those initial check-ins with all of you, it took me about 3 months to complete all of those check-ins.
Mm,
So you can imagine if we set quarterly, I would be constantly ongoing doing one-on-one check-ins.
okay.
Would we be amenable to maybe removing the word regular and just saying conducting check-ins so that they're conducted as needed and not necessarily on a regular basis? I saw one thumbs up. Does anyone have strong feelings about that? I just feel like it might be easier on staff. Maybe people can request check-ins, or we can do it every so often, but not regularly schedule them. Okay, so I'll propose that as an amendment, and I'll put it in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Do we have to vote on each one, or can we vote on everything at the end together? Together at the end. Good. Okay. Is there anything else for this section? I appreciate the grammar things that Commissioner Maya put in and the fixes. I think it does help make it easier to read. I think Commissioner Dan.
I'm wondering maybe if we want to vote on each section and so that it's just done. Like the section we're just done.
Yeah, I think that'll be the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Thank you. Anything else then for section 2? Since I think we're pretty. Nope. Okay, then we can vote on section 2. And I will start. Wait, I have a list of everyone, but not everyone's here. So before I start calling a bunch of names of people that are not here, let me figure out who's here. I'll just do it from the Zoom window. Commissioner Maya, we're just voting yes or no. Well, yes, stand aside, or no on this. The things that are up, the amendments that are up. Commissioner Maya,
Commissioner Maya, yes.
Commissioner Dan,
Commissioner Dan, yes.
Commissioner Luna,
Yes.
Co-Chair Issa,
Co-Chair Issa, yes.
and I also vote yes. So great, section 2 done. That was not that hard. Let's move on to section 3. And section 3 had less updates, but they still had it still had some stuff. So Maya, would you like to speak to what you added? Or I guess it's more of a question.
Oops. Sorry, Commissioner Maya, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Sorry. Yeah, honestly, most of the comments in this document are points of clarification. So I was just asking if a vote that's on the agenda must occur within the same meeting that the item is called. And will there be projected timelines associated with the completion of each item's vote? And will they be mentioned in advance, just so that we have a better idea of when we're trying to achieve a vote or pass, something. That was more so just a point of clarification. And then I also asked a question about after a vote is passed, for those that vote no or stand aside, is there a process or is there time that is allocated to those individuals to resurface those concerns. Is that necessary? And maybe co-chair Jose, you have some prior experience on other commissions that you could speak to.
Yeah, regarding generally we don't really in other places I've been, we don't really go back to the no's unless the no's
Mm-hmm.
win, because then you have to address them, right? If the no's
Mm-hmm.
win, then you have to address them. The hope is that you have address those things before you go to a vote, and the vote is just after the debate and everyone's sharing why they think they're a yes or a no, then we decide. So I'm not sure if there is a mechanism that I know of for addressing those. Um, Although
Like,
the one mechanism is just they can always reach out to the whoever's the coach at the time to have a conversation around those. Um,
I guess,
I yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, I guess the question is more relevant to people who vote stand aside.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna. I actually have never used this stand aside model
Okay.
in any way. This is new to me.
Mm.
So, and we've had a few different votes where it was unanimous, but there were stand asides, and we just counted them as yeses because it's yes, but stand aside. So, Elaine, could you shed a little bit more
Yes.
light on that?
Yes, about stand aside. So the purpose of stand aside is that when you're doing the voting process, and if you're going to vote stand aside, as you vote stand aside, you say, I'm voting stand aside, as in, I will move this proposal forward. However, my concerns are XYZ. Currently, there's not a process to return to those concerns. But I think what Jose mentioned of you can always reach out to the co-chairs or give meeting feedback if that concern comes to fruition. So just as that as an example, when we voted, if we're going to call the commissioners by the first or last name, we did have one stand aside vote, and their concern was about the professionalism of using the first name. Let's say in the future, the public is saying, I don't take you all seriously because you're using first names, then that was when we would return to that concern. It's a way to like publicly record, I will move this proposal forward. However, these are my concerns.
Thank you, Elaine. Commissioner Dan?
Yeah, Commissioner Dan D3. Okay, so the stand asides are being documented somewhere already. So do we need to say anything more in the bylaws then about these are being documented here? We will return if X happens. You know what I mean? Um, I think we need a little more, but I don't know or if we just want to be like, sanitides are being recorded here and they will be returned to if something happens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Micah?
Hi, this is Micah from Interplay. Commissioner Maya, I just want to make sure that your answer or your question is answered. Are you potentially wanting to explore an opportunity where after everyone casts their votes, that there might be some space for folks that did maybe vote stand aside to be able to voice those concerns to the entire commission?
Commissioner Maya, not necessarily. I think I was just seeking clarification since, I mean, in previous language, it had stated like commissioners have serious concerns.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just imagining that if they had serious concerns, they might come up again, or they might be worth, you know, resolving to a degree. Not everything can be resolved, but I do like Commissioner Dan's suggestion, at least some language of the fact that they're being recorded or for future reference or for reference, um just so that the actual option of stand aside is worthwhile. I mean, it's worthwhile to move things along, but just as a on its own, I feel like if people have serious concerns.
And just as a reminder, though,
Mhm.
all our meetings are recorded, so everything is always
True.
recorded.
Mhm.
And you could go back to any meeting and look to see how someone voted. But it might be worth putting a line in here that says, I don't know if this is appropriate though, but say at this moment you could vote stand aside and express your concern. Like we could just make it so you say, I vote stand aside, but I still have the concern of blank. Like hopefully it's not like the only thing I worry about is that then people speak for 20 minutes in the middle of the vote. But um hopefully that doesn't happen, but that might be a good way to have the stand aside with their concern on why they're voting that way attached. Because I think Commissioner Dan wanted something more. Commissioner Dan?
Yeah, what you're saying, it kind of, I think, is getting really, really kind of close to what I was thinking. I'm, I do hear like, yeah, they're all recorded, but I think it's almost like when the Supreme Court or like a court does a thing, you have dissent votes that are recorded in a very specific way, and then the affirmative votes that are recorded in a specific way. So what I wouldn't want to lose the stand aside, and it's just like we can just be like, well, it was recorded, versus like maybe there's even a little bit more that we even do with those stand asides, even if the vote doesn't take them into consideration in the end. I don't know. It feels like an important thing that maybe could be completely lost if it's just like we've recorded everything, you can go back. Versus like these are some points that were made even if the vote went a specific way. Does that make sense? So I guess like what I would propose is like stand aside votes. Yes, you could have time maybe during, like maybe a certain amount of time. I don't know if we want to specify that, but also your stand aside will be noted in a specific way.
Thank you. Elaine?
Yes, Elaine speaking. Just want to offer that we could very easily record this more deliberately, including the stand aside concern in meeting minutes. That might be a little bit easier than going back through a recording.
Thank you. One sec. I'm typing up what I think sounds what like everyone's saying, but facilitating typing is harder. One only my I'm writing commissioners can briefly state their concern at the time of their when they vote, and that will be recorded in the minutes. Oh, Micah?
Yeah, just Micah from Interplay, just a word of caution, having seen a lot of commissions and committees do these types of things. I think giving room for folks to briefly state things gives folks an opportunity to um ramble a bit sometimes and kind of get on a bit of a soapbox. So my suggestion, which you could take or leave, would be to do the vote and then maybe give like a 5-minute window for folks to express their concerns. Because no matter what, their voting stand aside and the vote will pass. So I would maybe get the vote taken care of and then maybe put some time, maybe at the end of the meeting or at the end of like all of your voting for folks to express concerns.
So, okay, so I think after the vote would make sense to me so that we can get through the vote. And then, okay. So I put amendment in the chat to add to stand aside at the end. Commissioners will have time to briefly state their concern after the vote, and that will be recorded in the minutes. Is that roughly what we're getting at? Yes, I see nodding. Okay. If anyone has changes to that, because kind of at the end, and that will be recorded in the minutes. If there's a better way to say that, someone can wordsmith. Um, but I think that was the big concern in this section. Is there anything else from section 3 It is quite a long section, but it's all. Oh yeah, sorry. I will say the correct section next time. Is there anything else from this section that people would like to discuss? Or any of the Maya, if you have any questions or clarifications you would like to have answered before we move on, in case we have to come up with something better. Like this came out because you wanted a clarification, so some of your comments might actually become updates. So
Yeah, Commissioner Maya. Um, I think this might not necessarily become an update, but just for clarification, it does say in line C3, when discussion and questions are concluded, commissioners can make a proposal to vote. And I'm just wondering, since I've never been on a commission before, others with more experience, are there ever subjects or discussions that go on, in multiple meetings? That's why I mentioned this thing about timelines, and whether or not we will have or staff will be providing, projected timelines for certain topics or benchmarks. Just because I'm not familiar with how these things usually go.
yeah, and I think it's also a little interesting because our commission has certain code requirements. So in some places, the group makes their agenda, and so you can vote to change the agenda. You can do certain things. Our agenda by code is set by the chief sustainability officer. So there's some things we can do that other commissions and other groups can do, and there's some things we can't. And I think because of the matter of our work, correct me if I'm wrong, Elaine, there's certainly going to be meetings where we might get a lot of information one week and then continue that conversation the next week. So, and I think that's happening now even because we got a ton of information at our last meeting, and I think we're going to continue in that same thread for the next meeting. Um, so votes will certainly be appropriate to be on content that might not be at the meeting. Elaine?
Yeah, I just want to provide an example here of when you all were amending, adopting your working agreements. We initially set one meeting to do that. We thought we'd get through that in one meeting, and we didn't make any votes in that meeting. So then we went back to the agenda setting with the CSO. We added the working agreements to the next month, and then that's when you actually did amending and voting. And in that meeting, it was even verbalized, and we asked Vivian in that moment, okay, can we pause this and put it on next month's agenda?
Um, okay, wait, let me raise my hand.
Go ahead.
Um, so I guess I'm just thinking now about, is there a potential situation for gridlock at all? The simple majority is 11, right? Or that's quorum. Yeah. Simple majority of commissioners. Yeah. So is that a possibility for our commission in terms of voting?
Elaine?
You all have 20 voting members. So there is a possibility of gridlock.
Yeah, we don't have to vote. So if recent history has taught us anything, that we might want to have tie-breaking situational things in our bylaws. Um, so I don't know if we just want to put in somewhere under voting that in the case of a tie, the chief sustainability officer breaks the tie. I don't know if Vivian would appreciate that or not. But it might be something we just want to put in there so that if it does ever happen, we've already talked about it. Um, I would not be opposed to that, considering how bad certain things have gone recently. Commissioner Dan?
Yeah, Commissioner Dan, D3, I would second what you're saying, Jose, about Chief Sustainability Officer breaking ties. But also, uh, It's complicated. Wow, that'd be complicated. But I think we have to address it, and I think that's a not a bad way to address it.
Yeah, and if the city attorney doesn't feel like that's appropriate, they'll have
Yeah,
to look
good
through
point.
this before they get finalized anyway. So then they can come back and say you shouldn't do that. But um, yeah. So is everyone okay with that fix? Can someone type it up and put in the chat so I can keep looking at the next possible thing? The next one in this section that it's still, well, that's the one we already talked about. Uh, there, Commissioner Maya, you posted a question about this process.
Sorry, where are we?
Now I'm down in use of technology to facilitate meetings. You made a comment about access to
Oh.
the chat to propose amendments.
Oh, yes, Commissioner Maya speaking. Yeah, this was more so just a commentary from our last bylaws meeting. I think we asked Wing to think about the best way for us to propose amendments, which I think we are maybe testing out now. So that was just, I was just writing notes for myself there. Yeah, let me look at the other things that I commented. Oh,
Yeah.
voting and decision making will be conducted via the Zoom raise your hand function and account by staff. I just commented, I don't know if we already have this, but maybe there's like a time period for raising hands to prevent or to make counting easier. I'm not sure if that's necessary or easier on staff in any way. Just so people aren't raising their hands and lowering their hands before a final count has been done.
Yeah. And I think that's mainly when we have consensus and easy votes for the most part, because whenever we've been noting votes, we've been calling out everyone's name. So we haven't been
Okay.
counting hands. Um, but it is what it says in the bylaws. So, um, Elaine, what would staff think they'd be preferable?
Yeah, I think that this kind of comes down to facilitating. So I I don't know if it needs to be in bylaws, but I think it is a good note and maybe passing on facilitating best practices that it's very clear when you're raising your hand and then you're told to lower your hand. It's up to you all if you want to put it in bylaws.
Yes. That's and then we might just take that sentence away because we haven't been doing the hands, we've been doing roll call votes. Um, so that almost sounds like if we're on Zoom, we're supposed to be doing it by with hands. And if we're saying the facilitators decide which is the best way to do it, because with hands it's really hard to have stand aside, right? So with hands it's like um so I propose we just take that sense away to make it less confusing. That voting to staff, the one that's highlighted. Does that sound good to everyone? Yes, yes. I see nods. Okay. Well, that was the last of the comments that were pre-made in here. Did anyone else see anything or want to mention anything from this section that they would want to update? Or do we want to put in, since we're removing that sentence, do we want to put in or change it to voting and decision making will be facilitated by the facilitators and staff and just leave it at that? Like, so they decide how it works because we can just remove it and just assume that's how it is, right? Yes. Any comments? I see thumbs up. Thank you, Elaine. Okay. Okay, last chance for comments, and then we'll vote on this section. Okay, that's 7 seconds. So, okay, seeing no additional comments, we'll now vote on section 3, general operating procedures. We did make some changes, including the tie-breaking language that Commissioner Dan put in the chat. Thank you, Commissioner Maya.
Oh, I was just wanting to, Commissioner Maya, I was just wanting to clarify, were people thumbs upping to removing the sentence and then adding a new sentence?
Just removing it.
Oh, just
Think we-
removing it. Okay.
Just removing it.
Okay.
If someone thinks
You-
there needs to be a new sentence, please type it in the chat. Is anyone going to put a sentence in the chat? No, no. Raise your hand if you are. Okay, then we'll just vote. We'll just remove it. If we have to add something in, we can talk about that later. Or if we're told we need to put more details. But since we've done it in different ways, I think just removing the prescription in the bylaws might make more sense. So just to recap, we did the tie-breaking language, the stand aside concern at the end of your vote, per Micah's suggestion, and I think those were the big changes for that. Oh, and removing that one sentence. And yeah, that's it. Those were the changes in section 3. So now we're gonna move. Oh, and before I start this vote, we're doing everything by section and sometimes there are multiple edits in a section. If there's ever a time where we've made 5 edits and you agree with 4 of them a lot and one of them you have an issue with, feel free to stop me and ask for us to tackle that one separately. I'm more than happy to do that. I'm doing it this way just to move us along quicker, but please don't misunderstand. I'm not trying to like make you all decide on all those things every time. Just raise your hand and we can tackle a problem if there is one. Okay, but on this, I will start the vote on this. After this vote, we're going to break for 10 minutes. Thank you, Elaine. Okay, so Commissioner Maya,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Dan,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Luna,
Yes.
Co-Chair Isa,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. Thank you. Section 3 is done. Woo! And now we have a break. So how long do we have a break for right now? We're kind of that's a 10-minute break. So 7 o'clock. Well, actually we caught up. Great. So 7 o'clock, 10-minute break. See you all back here in 10 minutes. And when we get back, we'll continue this work and Isa will pick it up from where I left at. Okay. See you soon.
Hello, everyone. We're just finishing up our break. It's now 7:10. Is everyone here? Elaine, just making sure. Are we at quorum now?
We are waiting on Commissioner Dan to join us.
All right.
We are now at quorum.
All right. Next slide. Okay, so we're gonna be going back to amending the bylaws draft. Elaine, if you could please share the all up on your screen. And Wayne, can you please be ready to edit the document? All right, thank you. So for section 4, removal of members and resignations, I see Commissioner Maya had some comments on it. Are there any clarifications you have, Commissioner Maya?
Yes, Commissioner Maya speaking. I do not remember the attendance policy. And so I also, I believe it was Commissioner Luna brought up, it'd be nice to have some more warnings before just an absolute, exile from the commission. So I just provided some draft language. It's not necessarily what I think the way it has to be. I suggested that when a commissioner has two remaining unexcused absences before reaching the maximum allowed, the chief sustainability officer, in coordination with commission leadership, will issue a verbal and written warning. I actually don't know how many unexcused absences we have, if it's a set number. Yes, so this language is highly flexible. I just wanted to provide something.
Elaine?
Hi, Ollie Lane, the Sustainability and Climate Commission Coordinator. The city policy for unexcused absences is missing 25% of meetings in one calendar year.
Okay. So is that 4 meetings for us? Or at 3 meetings? I don't do math.
Elaine?
So this will also include retreats. So if we're talking one calendar year from when you all were sat in June, so June to June, that I think is 10 meetings, including retreats. But that will be different for the next
Oh, okay.
year of service. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And again, you all can set a different standard. It just can't be more relaxed than 25% of meetings in one calendar year.
Commissioner Dan?
Commissioner Dan, D3. I know, I think in our previous education about this, it was like, we don't have to reference like cities that or other code a lot, but maybe we do just explicitly say the 25% plus. Then I like Commissioner Maya's suggestion of when someone is close to that, they have a written and verbal warning just to like do the thing. And so I don't know if we want to set that as a percentage. I guess if we're setting 25%, then maybe we do set it as a percentage, but like, I don't know.
Elaine?
Elaine, again, I would really advise us against referencing the exact language in the city-wide rules, especially as we are likely to see a change of administrative rules for all advisory bodies in the city. So that could be a rule that changes.
So, what do we want in? Would we? So, are there any other questions actually? Firstly, well, do we? Oh, Jose, is that a question?
Yeah, I guess I would ask Elaine, but should this, if we do decide that we want some kind of warning, wouldn't it come from you, or would it come from Chief Sustainability Officer? I just don't know if we need to put more stuff on her
Yeah.
plate.
Yeah, this is Elaine again. I think that it would be very case by case. I think it would be either the CSO, myself, or the co-chairs. And so maybe we want to have that flexibility written here. And I think in all cases, everyone would be copied on it.
Commissioner Dan.
Commissioner Dan D3, I guess actually maybe we don't have to put anything in like more because you're already tracking it. Like, and so I don't know if, yeah, like to your point, your earlier point about administrative roles might change. We shouldn't necessarily commit to something specific that's already in administrative roles and you're already tracking it. So maybe then it's the process that you already are doing. Um, but maybe we add some language around warnings written and verbal before a removal.
Elaine.
Thank you for giving me so much time. I just do want to make a mention about the language that is proposed right now of like having two remaining unexcused absences. That's actually quite difficult to track until the end of the calendar year because we may cancel a meeting, we may have an extra meeting. So it's like not set in stone throughout the year, if that makes sense. Um, just want to add that.
Elaine, could you please clear? I had a clarifying question about that. Um, I mean, would an unexcused absence would that not be like a would that not be a clear thing to mark? Like, would that not be a clear thing to mark down on someone, or is it that like the definition changes depending on if a meeting's canceled? If that makes
Uh,
sense.
what I mean is like what constitutes as the 25% of meetings, like what number of meetings that is changes. So currently right now for this calendar year that we've been operating, we're expecting 10 meetings. And so the 25% number is that number. But then maybe we cancel a meeting. So then it's actually or two meetings, then it's eight. Then 20 the definition of 25% has changed. So by saying when a commissioner has two remaining unexcused absences, that is kind of in flux, like that two number. Does that make sense? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Micah or Wing, if you have a better description, totally open to hearing that.
Uh, Commissioner Jose.
What if we just put something like if a commissioner is in danger of being removed due to attendance, they will be warned before that happens. And without saying any numbers, just saying that if that's ever going to come up, they have to start getting warned. We just say that so that someone can't just be removed. They have to be warned first.
Mika.
Hi, this is Micah from Interplay. So historically, Elaine, have you seen any other commissions or committees have like a system where they like give folks a heads up about their attendance if they are in trouble, or would this be something a little bit newer to you? I've seen it done both ways.
Yes, I've definitely seen a warning system, and it's similar to what Commissioner Jose is proposing, that if they're in danger of being removed due to unexcused absences, they are warned beforehand.
Okay. Yeah, then Commissioner Jose, I think the idea to write in the bylaws that they have a warning is a good suggestion.
Elaine, just a clarifying question. Is there a maximum or like a minimum amount of warnings a commissioner can receive, like in lieu of their absences?
Can you repeat that question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, is there a minimum or maximum amount of like warnings the commissioner may receive, like in lieu of their absences?
In lieu of your, I'm sorry, I'm not following the question.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So so how many warnings should a commissioner
Mm.
receive before they're removed from the commission?
Yeah, I think that that is all for you to set. As we can see later in this section, there is like a number of warnings if they don't disclose conflicts of interest. So you could do a similar warning system. Again, I want to offer that you all can choose a different attendance policy as long as it's not more relaxed. So I do know, for example, some bodies go to like a quarterly version of this of a similar rule.
Commissioner Dan?
Yeah, Commissioner Dan, D3. Yeah, I think we could be explicit in like a number that can also be taken away. You know what I mean? So it's like if you have a verbal writ, it's like a disciplinary policy, but like you have a verbal, you have a written, but then you go a year, maybe it resets. You know what I mean? So it's like within a calendar year or a fiscal year, we can make that decision. Then so I think quarterly is a little short, but also, but unexcused absences, like, yeah, you can tell somebody something. You can send a text message, and unless obviously if you're not doing that, then something catastrophic maybe has happened, and then that's a whole other thing, and we can deal with that. But like, if you're just straight up not telling someone, we're all professionals here, like, so it's like verbal, written. If you don't get another one in a year, then it resets. I would propose something like that.
Commissioner Jose?
Yeah, and we were talking about how many warnings. With attendance, I think just one warning. Because if you think about 10 meetings in a year, 25%, that's only two meetings. I mean, it's 2.5 meetings, but you can't, it's hard to do multiple warnings when it's that few meetings, right? It's like you miss one and then you'll start having to warn. So I think just one warning is plenty. If not, when do you do the second warning?
Yeah, I would say I do agree with that at that point. I do think one warning, I think one warning after some absences would be enough. So I think we should vote then. Are we in, so I guess, are we in favor of one warning before starting to use absences before move from the commission? Uh, let's see, Commissioner Maya?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Luna?
Yes.
Commissioner Dan?
Yeah. Yes.
Alternate Garrett?
Alternate Garrett, not sure if I vote, but
Oh, sorry about that. My mistake. And Commissioner Jose?
Yes.
Okay, I also vote yes. All right. And then for the next section, failure to disclose a conflict of interest. I saw you had some comments on that, Commissioner Maya. Elaine.
I am seeing that Commissioner Maya has put in some language. So if we could just pause for one moment for Wing to um, move over that language for section 4A1 based off of your votes.
So do we vote on that specific language, or is this the Wing gonna put that in?
My understanding is you all voted you're in favor of a one warning system. Commissioner Maya has proposed some language around that vote. You all can decide to vote to say yes to that, or you can keep working on this section and vote on adopting all of these amendments in one go. It is all up to you all.
I think we should just vote then. Dan.
Oh no, sorry. I was gonna say we should vote anyway. Yeah, cool.
Okay, yeah. And Commissioner Jose, I take that you're fine with that also.
Yes, I'm put a no as long as Elaine thinks that the staff requirements, the chief sustainability in coordination with commission leadership, that she thinks that's appropriate language. Um, that's the only part that I want to make sure it just gives the leeway that if Elaine sends the verbal warning, that's okay. Like however it's supposed to be.
All right, Elaine.
Yes, Elaine again. I do think that it might be best practice to add in all three roles in each of these sections, the chief sustainability officer, commission leadership, and the commission coordinator. So that way, if I'm emailing or if I'm giving a phone call, that is constitutes as an official warning.
All right. Then I guess to continue with the vote, Commissioner Luna. Oh, question, Jose.
Not a question, but I think we have to fix the language so that we know what we're voting on.
Yeah. So do we vote? So I guess it's a vote to adopt the language Maya put into the chat. So just making sure. Commissioner Maya.
Commissioner Maya. So should I'm just trying to think about what language would best incorporate all three roles. Does anyone have any? I'm just trying to like think and listen and type at the same time. Um, so if we say when a commissioner is at risk of reaching the maximum number of allowed unexcused absences within a given year, the chief sustainability officer, commission leadership, or the commission coordinator will issue a single verbal and written warning. Does that sound appropriate? I'm gonna put the full text, or I guess yeah, just actually the section where I'm posing an amendment into the chats. Um,
All right. So that's the final wording that we should be voting on then. Okay. Okay. Commissioner Jose.
Yes.
Commissioner Luna.
Yes.
Commissioner Maya.
yes.
Commissioner Dan.
Yes, that looks great. Yes.
I also vote yes. Okay. Oh, Commissioner Maya.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify. I didn't necessarily want to suggest to remove the first sentence. I was just proposing an amendment from the second sentence onward. So, yeah, because I think the first sentence was deleted, if I'm
Uh,
so I was not proposing that we delete the first sentence. I guess I'm just clarifying that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Then, yeah, okay. So for the next section, on to, let's see, failure to disclose conflict of interest. I think, yeah, for failure to disclose conflict of interest and other removal reasons. I mean, I think what we voted on just now does apply to those two. Elaine?
Can we just pause for a moment on section 4A1? I just want to make sure that we've got it correctly in the document before we move on. Wing, where are you on that? Oh, we got a full text from Commissioner Maya.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
The bulleted enumeration is going to get weird, but we can fix that in the accepting the edits. I can't figure out how to not make it do that.
Elaine?
Sorry, that's a legacy hand.
Okay. Then, Wing, are we free to move on to the next section?
I'll be honest, this document is kind of fighting with me. Elaine, can you move out of that item? Move your cursor out of that item. So
Sorry
I'm
about that.
going, no, it's okay. Not a problem. This is a learning curve for me, for sure.
Let's just wait until Wing
Thank
feels
you.
like we're there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I think we're there. So what we see at item 1 is the full text with no strike through, and then beneath that you should be able to see the struck through text that it replaces. Does that look good to everyone? And I'll note that that preserved the automated numeration in the bulleting as well.
Okay, then, so that look good to everyone, just making sure. Oh, Commissioner Dan?
I think it repeats. Or maybe it's just because of the nothing, sorry.
Okay.
It's hard to read. I know we're doing this tech experiment. This is cool, but
Uh, Elaine, sorry, I should be doing this for the record. This is Wing Grabowski, meeting support. Elaine, for the group, can you switch your view to review, and which will remove the edits, just so that we can, for a moment, see what's actually in the document?
This is Elaine. Let me stop sharing real quick and see. It's very hard in share mode.
Commissioner Dan?
Commissioner Jan D3. Wing, would it make more sense for you to share the screen?
I would be happy to do that. Elaine, are you amicable to that?
Yes. Although I did just share my screen, is everyone seeing that without markup? And is it looking correct?
Commissioner Maya?
Yes, it looks correct to me. I think there's just an extra period in right at the end there, but it looks correct, yes.
Thanks. This is Wayne Grabowski, meeting support. Elaine, I'm going to propose that you continue to share your screen because I am moving around the document a bit as you all talk. So for consistency, I think it's better if you share.
Okay, great. This is Elaine again. Are we good with this view? I can stop sharing and put us back into full markup. I'm seeing nods. Okay.
Okay. So moving on to the section on one moment. Failure to disclose a conflict of interest and other removal reasons. Maya, do you have any clarifications on your comments?
Yes, Commissioner Maya speaking. I just asked a question when it says any commissioner who receives three or more written warnings may be removed. Uh, and I was wondering if that's kind of up to the discretion of the chief sustainability officer, or if it's a solid, like a hard rule that if you have three or more warnings or failures to disclose. So I think that might be a question for Elaine.
Elaine?
This is Elaine. The may language does legally mean that they're not automatically removed with three or more warnings. So you all can change that.
And again, just for clarification, Commissioner Maya speaking, that would be the final decision lies with the chief sustainability officer to make that call.
This is Elaine. As I'm reading it, it would be the Chief Sustainability Officer and Commission leadership.
Okay.
Okay. Are y'all fine with how that's worded? Any other questions on it? Okay, then I think we should just vote to keep it as is then. Commissioner Maya?
I guess Commissioner Maya speaking, I just wondering if there's any value to elaborating at all. I don't know in what way. Or if this is just kind of like standard practice or has been standard practice in other city commissions. I'm just feeling like three seems kind of steep already. So I don't I don't know if
Uh,
there's a best practice here.
Elaine?
Thank you, Elaine. Again, I just want to offer that this language comes copy and paste from our bylaws template from Civic Life. So you all can change this.
Commissioner Dan?
Commissioner Dan, D3. I mean, three warn. I feel like three warnings is a lot for a conflict of interest, but I'm fine with being like three. I actually would be fine with three and you're removed, but may I'm cool with that too. But I would be like, if you had three conflicts of interest and you failed to disclose those, like, okay, bye. Like,
So would you say you're fine with it being either way? Just to clarify.
um, I'm I'm okay with the language that is currently there.
Okay. Commissioner Jose.
Wait, did Elaine's just say that we can't change this? No? Oh, okay. I misheard then. Um, can conflict of interest be resolved? Because that's the only reason I would think, like if get warned, oh, you have this conflict of interest, oh, they didn't realize, or there was a misunderstanding. I don't know enough about it because I've never had one or experienced one. So that's the only thing I could think of. Like if it's something you can be didn't know or explain away, I could see that being a thing. Mind you, three is still a lot, but that's a question I would have if we might want to put something.
Elaine.
Thank you all for giving me so much time, Elaine. I do want to offer that there are people on the commission who receive funding from PSEF. So for our commission, not disclosing a conflict of interest can have really great consequences and really erode public trust because of the nature of all your work outside of the commission.
Commissioner Dan.
Yeah, speaking directly to that, that's why I would be kind of hardline on this personally. If folks were amenable to that, I would be like three and you're done. Like it's not a may, it's three and you're done, or two and you're done even. But anyway.
Commissioner Jose.
Yeah, I think because of what Lane said, I agree with that. Like if we can be more strict, like take the may out, I'd be okay with that if that's allowed for us to do.
So then, I guess we should vote on. Oh, Commissioner Maya.
Yes, Commissioner Maya speaking. I'm wondering, would it be valuable for after an initial failure to disclose to have some sort of meeting with the attorney about this, or just because yeah, like some sort of accountability for that failure so that it's like less likely to occur again in the future? Yes, that's just what I wanted to add. But I haven't typed any language. It's just an idea.
Okay, Commissioner Dan.
Yeah, so maybe proposal instead of may, will, and then adding after one. I really like that, Commissioner Maya. Meeting with city attorney, well, meeting with sustainability officer, uh, leadership and attorney after one. And I'll try to type that and then we can workshop it.
Okay.
But I would say right now change may to will.
Yeah, I think I get behind that also. All right. So are y'all fine with adding those small wait? Uh, I think Dan's still typing the Commissioner Dan, you're still typing the new language, right? Okay, just making sure. Okay. Commissioner Dan.
Point of clarity on what I just typed. Elaine, I didn't include you or your position. Should I or should we? Also, is that is one enough for like the city attorney to be immediately involved?
Elaine.
Um, I do. I think in reality that if this was to happen, I think the commission coordinator would be in on those meetings so that everyone is read into the situation. I'm not sure legally if we write it not including that, if that would preclude the commission coordinator from being in the meeting. So I think that's all up to you. Um, and then your second question is after one warning enough? I think Commissioner Maya has added an amendment of after each in the chat.
All right, then I think we should vote to change that wording and include the after each part for undisclosed conflicts of interest. Commissioner Dan.
And then maybe I mean maybe we just involve commission coordinator in the language too. I think that makes sense because it's just a reality.
Okay, yeah. Okay, then I guess vote to add the Dan's comment along with the after each comment Commissioner Maya had, and to include the commission coordinator in the new wording. So let's vote on that. Commissioner Dan.
Oh, go ahead.
Elaine.
Sorry. Let's just pause for a moment for Wing to catch up on all of our edits so that we can view it all in one go. And thank you, Commissioner Maya, for adding that language into the chat. And additionally, Wing, there was amendment of removing may and changing that to will.
Are we retaining the 3 or more written warnings? Phrase. Might read it. Actually, I went ahead and put it in the chat to see if that tracks.
All right, yeah, I think that looks good.
Okay.
Oh wait, so ads are still being made, just making sure, right?
So I will add that to the document if everyone can move out of that item.
Okay. Elaine.
Yes, and I think now that we have this visual in the chat, we can go ahead and vote while Wing
Okay.
catches us up in the document.
Okay. Okay, let's vote then. Commissioner Jose. Commissioner Jose.
Yes. Sorry. Usually spacebar unmutes, but not this time.
Commissioner Luna.
Yes.
Commissioner Dan.
Yes.
Commissioner Maya.
Yes.
Okay, and I vote yes as well. Okay. Then for the shall we move on, or are we ready to move on, Wing?
Yeah, once again, just a technical thing of Elaine, when you clean this document up and finalize the edits, will you note the bulleted numeration?
Yes, I will wing and make sure the numbering and all of that is fixed.
Okay, then for now to section B for resignation process, are there any questions on that? Commissioner Maya?
Yes, still on the previous A. I just had, I personally don't recall other removal reasons. I don't necessarily think we need to list them. Um, but might be nice to have a warning as well. I don't really remember what the other removal reasons are.
Elaine?
The other removal reasons would be like against our HR code or discrimination or harassment, those type of violations.
So, okay, actually.
Commissioner Dan?
Do we just want to say then or is other enough, I guess? Or do we want to say for other city violations or something? But I feel like other's enough, but maybe not.
Commissioner Maya?
For me, other is enough. I was just thinking about whether or not in those other situations a warning would be warranted as well, or we would like a warning. I don't know, in the case of discrimination and harassment, does that really fall to us, or is that's like an immediate, like that would be decided, beyond the commission? I do not know.
Elaine?
Thanks all, Elaine. I think that is why this section is worded as it is, that if something like this happens, this violation may come from above the commission and that member is removed.
All right. Commissioner Jose?
Yeah, I say we just leave this section as is.
Yeah, I'm also in favor of leaving it as is. Should we vote then? Uh, Commissioner Maya?
Yes.
Commissioner Jose?
Yes.
Commissioner Luna?
Yes.
Commissioner Dan?
Yes.
All right, and I also vote yes. Okay, now for a time check, we currently have. I think we can go through the resignation process real quick because I don't see many comments on it. Um, for the resignation process and yeah, for resignation process, do we have any questions about that for anyone? Then I guess the vote to keep it as is. Commissioner Dan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jose,
Yes.
Commissioner Luna,
Yes.
Commissioner Maya.
Yes.
All right, and I also vote yes. Okay, then real quick for leadership. Yeah, for leadership, for specific leadership V section, do we have any questions on that? Are we fine with there or are there questions? Oh, Elaine?
Elaine, I am seeing quite a bit of questions in here, and I just want to do a time check that we are at 7:55. Um, so I guess returning to you all, do we think we can get through this in 5 minutes and finalize this section?
No, I don't think we can.
then yeah, it seems like we won't have much time to finish that section. So I guess are you able to go back to the slideshow? Okay, so for some of our duties, we have please remember to fill out the commissioner feedback form, and Elaine sent as part of our last weekly high five. And we go through this feedback and make decisions based on what you guys tell us. So please remember to fill it out. Next slide. So for next steps and reminders, our committee meeting next will be February 11th, and staff will send out updated versions of our bylaws. And please make sure to make pre-meeting amendments so we can meet our deadline, and those are due by February 5th. And next slide. Yeah, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
I think we got a lot done. Honestly, that was pretty good.
Agreed.
Great job, everybody.
Yeah, great job. Have a great day.
See you
Yeah,
next
great job,
time.
everybody. I'll see
Or
you all at the
tomorrow.
next meeting.
See you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow. Yeah, I
See you
can
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good
Good
night.
night.